I'm here to hopefully fix this problem, to attract more young people, more diverse people. And yeah, I would like to address this problem by showing the geographic distribution of Debian. But first, let me tell you something about the Debian community itself. So I think there's also an old white man, but he's, from my opinion, standing for the resilience inside Debian. What do I mean with a resilient community? Well, when I think back more than nearly 30 years, in 1996, I was starting this Debian. I have had not much experience in Debian, and I had some very, very low performance hardware with a very small hard disk. And I had to mount my user partition to a different host via NFS. And the install media did not support this at this time. And I asked for help on a mailing list. And there was Susan Kleinman building for me a kernel which I could put on my install medium. And she did it in 3 iterations because it first not work and second did not work. And so I thought, well, if there's somebody who's sitting down for me, building kernel images for me and send it for me to email, this is a support I really appreciate. This is the Linux distribution I really want to use. And so I stick to Debian and had no good reason to use something else. 2 years later, when I was a happy Debian user, I realized I need this not very important package. It's a monolingual dictionary for English language, but I needed it for my study. And at the time, the maintainer for this package stopped maintaining it, did something else, and at that time, the policy was this package is dropped from Debian. And I didn't like this would be dropped, and so, if I want to do something, I want to have something in Debian, it's not done by somebody else, then I have to do it myself. And so I started with this package, which was for a beginner not very easy. I started with some training, a little Xteddy, you might not know it. And so I had the first 2 packages, and I became a Debian maintainer even before it was usual to pass some Q&A. So I'm happy because the typical thing in Debian is to have to answer some questions when you want to become a developer, and there's a question where you need to know a bit, and I'm happy that I did not have to answer this. I just got a phone call these days. Oh, this is fine. And so the entrance was maybe more easy, but we were way less people. And what I can tell you is the process to become a Debian developer selects people who are very patient. So if you consider yourself a patient person, then you are a good candidate to become a Debian developer. And you need this patience. So I became a Debian user, I became a Debian developer, and then I learned that Debian is kind of a family. You see, Joel Ismail Klecker became only 21 years old, and nobody was aware that he is very ill, and he was dedicating more or less his whole life, his short life, to Debian. He was working from his bed for very heavy stuff, libc or so. It was very high qualified technical work. And 6 weeks before he died, he said, "Oh, guys, I can't continue." And this is when I learned this is not just a technical project. It's a project of friends, and I call it family. And you see me even now move when I'm talking about this. There were other people who passed away. It's always, but this was the time when I learned it's more than a technical project. It's something I could dedicate my spare time, my lifetime, and this is, since then, I'm even more into Debian. Yes, by chance, I would say, I'm working in a medical institute. I'm a physicist by profession, so I'm not original IT person. And yes, this medical institute needs a lot of microbiology software. And what to do? Yeah, there is a lot of microbiology software in the free software world. All this gene sequence stuff is in most cases free software because it is university driven, and university tends to do publications, and a good publication is usually the data and the code merged together. So the code is free software, and we had a couple of these free software project packaged in Debian, and I assembled all these in what I called Debian made project. We have the internal term blend, so we have a blend for astronomy, education, games. So all these blends are user-centric. On one side, packages that are assembled and people who are caring for this assembly. And this is Debian made, and I'm actually quite proud because I somehow followed what Stephanie said before and attracted a lot of people to this project. What to say? We are not very good in Debian to attract people. That I need to, in my estimation. But this Debian made project, despite it's not very important for Debian in large, the Debian would be the same without this project. But we managed to attract one developer per year who said, oh, this Debian project is cool, Debian made project is cool, I become a maintainer because this exists. And some of these people later did other things as well, but they came because I think our team is quite a good outreach. And I think this is very important. It is a lot of mentoring involved. It is a lot of telling upstream people, hey, you could also maintain your stuff inside Debian, because the upstream maintainers frequently know way better than, for instance, as I said, I'm a physicist, and if there is a bioinformatician, and he knows how this package needs to work. And if I teach this person how to manage this package in Debian, then we have the perfect package. We need test suites, we need to make sure that it works as expected for the maintainers. So this is kind of my way to make sure that people can maintain their package inside Debian. And later on, I decided to run for Debian project leader. And then I said to my teammates in Debian made, oh, I now have different tasks. I can't do the work inside Debian made anymore because I need to do other things. And I'm really, really happy that these people managed this project even without me, while I was all the time the most active contributor. But the fact that I'm not contributing anymore is not making any loss for the small sub-project inside Debian, right? Debian made is completely inside Debian, but it's a sub-project, and the 10 active people are working on this. And this is my biggest worry as a Debian project leader, that we have lots of tasks inside Debian where only a single person is working on. So we have no real redundancy inside the project. And I'm really worried about this, And I'm even more worried that many of these people are not worried about the fact that if they go, there would be a big loss. And this is, well, one thing why I was running for project leader, and I'm not really sure if I was successful in my first term. I decided to run a second term. Let's see. But, well, Debian, it's an old distribution, right? It's really, who's using Debian? Who of the people who raise their hand have installed the popcorn package and provide the data? So it's not a good statistic, but it's less than half of the people. So what is graphed here is, well, if the user says at installation time, yes, my computer is permitted to anonymously send data to the Debian server, what packages I'm using, then we get this data. So we probably have way more than 200,000 users, but we don't know about them. We have no chance to know about them. So you have, I'm not sure if it's 10 times, 100 times, I don't know. But what we see is that the use of Debian was constantly growing. This is what we can, there's here was popcorn not working at this time, but you see it's working. And well, my institute is also not using popcorn because they said no data will be sent out of this institute. So this is not default, but you can see Debian. Yeah, I think it's relevant because this is the most frequently used package. This is further is libc is probably very similar. So I think this graph is not telling us a number, but it's telling a tendency that people are using it. And we don't get the numbers of all the derivatives of Debian. You know, Ubuntu, which is most probably way more used than Debian itself, but we don't have the numbers. And Ubuntu wouldn't probably not exist if Debian would not exist. And we have Mint and whatever. I think Debian is the most derived distribution. So, yeah, it's Debian relevant. It is tested. In Debian, we have CI tests. It is called auto package tests. And I'm very proud that this number of packages that are tested is increasing all the time. And this is also important. And I really work for getting more tests. For instance, the Google Summer of Code projects I did was all the time asking the students, these are the most frequently used packages according to Popcorn, which have no auto package test, and you work down the list. Write a test, write the next test, write the next test. The good thing about this kind of mentoring is you have very tiny chunks of work. So if the student has a big task and will not manage, this is not success. But the student has 2 or 3 times success every week. This is a good thing for Google Summer of Code project. Yes, and is Debian relevant? Yes, Debian is flying. There's at least one computer on the international station, the ISS, and Debian will also fly to the moon. The NASA is taking it for, they are not landed, but the 3 robots are prepared. And well, if I get re-elected as DPL, I might announce it once the computers landed and Debian is going to the moon. What should I say? I think it's great. So why I'm here? In my last platform, I said, within the Debian community, there exists an uneven distribution in terms of gender representation and geographic diversity. Currently, there is a notable overrepresentation of male contributors originating from countries typically considered industrialized. People like me, not necessarily gray hairs, and I want to change this. but I did not succeed in this nearly 1 year. And that's why I decided to come to FOSSASIA and advertise coming to Debian. And it's not only tasks like building packages. Stephanie had given great examples what you can do. We need technical writers. For instance, if I think about the ArchWiki, which is a really great documentation. And Debian is just so old. And we have also a wiki, but it's on a technique which I do not even want to talk about it. We need people to migrate the content, to write better content. We need all different things. So we need you, young people who might be interested, here from Asia, from all over the world. I'll show you a map later, which is, in Asia is quite okay, in Africa it's even worse. So, this is a map of Debian developers who confirmed that they are living at their places. Some people do not want to provide this information. And you see, it's mostly in Europe and Northern America. And even more interesting is we call it the incidence. So this is developers per 100,000 inhabitants of the country. And I know you are from China. So China has not a high density of Debian developers because China has so many people, inhabitants, and so there is a lot of potential in China, India, to attract more developers. And you see, we have at least 1 or 2 developers in Thailand, but Asia is not that densely settled. And as I said, I want to change this. And you can talk to me, I'm here, I'm a normal person. So don't approach me as project leader, just approach me as Andreas, and we can talk about everything, right? You see, Africa is even worse. We have South Africa. And I do not even know about a conference in Africa, so it's really great you are running this conference. It's kind of an opportunity, and I would like to make something out of this opportunity. A really good thing in Debian is in-person meetings. One example is a DebConf. This is a yearly conference, which, well, the blue dots are the places where the conference happened, and the red lines are just where I attended myself. So you see, I was 3 times in Asia. I missed other conferences for different reasons. But this is a very good chance to meet Debian people. It's so amazing. I was, well, maybe the first 2 DebConfs. I was on DebConf 0 and DebConf 1 in Bordeaux. This was maybe kind of the strongest reason why I so deep into Debian, because if you meet the people, if you meet them again and you think, oh, this is a real friend, I missed this person 1 year and we meet again. This is really nice, and I want to share this feeling with you. Maybe some people were in Kochi in India in 2023 or in Busan last year. So I like to invite everybody to join the DebConf. So how can we try to address geographic disparities? It's probably by translating things. I'm not really informed about Thai translation, but I think it's reasonably good. I can tell you I have a adopted Vietnamese daughter, also due to Debian, but long story. And I installed a laptop for her in Vietnamese. I don't speak Vietnamese. I just press enter, 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 doesn't work, use the other option, enter, 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 and this laptop was installed in Vietnamese. Right? So it's not that hard, but yeah. Next thing what I'm doing is packaging workshops. I'm usually doing packaging workshops in the way I said, I would ask you, maybe you want to join tomorrow, room 2, same room, tomorrow, latest session. And then you name me one software which is not yet in Debian. And then we start. Because the idea is, if you work on the software you really want yourself, then your motivation to do this is way higher than just a hello world or so. So if you know something that is missing in Debian, it's not hyper complex, just join my workshop and I'll tell you or show you how I will do it. I also show you how I could fail, which happened in other workshops as well, but you learn from the failures and you learn that other people are doing failure, even if they have a lot of training. So this is not a problem. I will show you how to work around the failures and how to fix it. I'm currently running also the bug of the day. This was one idea to say, oh, some people don't have so much time. I'm seeking tiny tasks and I'll show how easy it is to fix the bug. It is, well, you could compare to going with a flashlight into the basement of a house and you see a lot of packages, a lot of, oh, this is a marvel, but this is not so good, and I can fix something here and I do something there. It's randomly choosing a package, which usually one has a very easy thing to do, and we do the easy things. I also want to strengthen local events. Local events are team meetings, local meetings, so to strengthen the local community. And what I also try to approach as a Debian project leader is to possibly streamline the packaging. We have a lot of different styles, a lot of different stuff, and I want to make it more easy. So, well, just join the Debian community. If you have any questions, just ask me later, ask me tomorrow in the workshop. So, question?
Not a question, just a comment. Not a question, just a comment. That for DebConf are usually 2 weeks long, 4 weeks.
Well, the DebConf is 1 week, and it is pre-pended DebCamp for development.
Yeah, so it's difficult for many people to join because of that huge event. So
yes.
There are also mini DebConfs.
Yes, there are mini DebConf, that is correct. For me, traveling that long way, while I'm here for 4 days, is a little bit. Yeah, sure.
Regarding the relevance of Debian, something that I think is actually really critical is Debian functions as base for so many other projects like Ubuntu, which is based on Debian. Everywhere you encounter, like most of Debian, Linux Mint is also based on Debian. That needs to be acknowledged, I think, as well. And I wonder how much contribution comes from upstream distributions like that.
Well, we have a lot of Ubuntu developers who are at the same time Debian developers, and I think we could do a little bit better by merging things back. If I get a patch from Ubuntu, I try to do it in 24 hours. Other people do it differently. I think those distributions have an imminent interest in supporting Debian, and they are also doing it in my observation. Right.
Don't you think that more could be done to cooperate with other distributions beyond Debian and Ubuntu? Because you just mentioned patches, and I think in a lot of cases, downstream distribution will apply the same patches, and each distribution does the same work, just multiplying. I think it's a waste of resources.
Well, I also wrote in my platform, I want to do some cross-distribution discussion. And I registered a talk at FOSSDEM, and I also tried to register a talk at FOSSASIA. Both talks were rejected. What should I say? You're perfectly right, I agree.
Not a question, but a comment. Thank you. You think of all the servers in the world that are running Debian and derivatives, and it's not really a stretch to say that probably everyone in the world benefits from it. So thank you. And
yeah, you're welcome. Well, I actually usually answer this. I don't maintain Debian packages to make the world a better place. I maintain it because I have some profit myself. But I have a good operating system because all the people are working on this, right? So I'm happy that you are happy, but I'm happy as well.
One question here. So you said that you are encouraging upstream maintainers to have their package in Debian so that they can have the best. They're the best people who have the package.
Yeah.
Now Debian has a high barrier for new packaging. Are you doing anything to solve that?
I tried to work 1 year on it, and I hope to continue another year. I can't do promises.
Any more questions?
Okay, so thanks very much, Mr. Andreas, for sharing.
You're welcome. And thank you.